President of the Youth League, obviously ANC Youth League President, was interviewed, and I want us to listen to him when he was asked about, the challenges, what of the young people and everything. He is going to talk about the economy, which I think that is the most important thing, guys. You can go anywhere and ask which part of South Africa in terms of taking control of South Africa or benefiting South Africans, which one is the most part that you would grab or you will hold? It's the economy. Okay, now let's listen to him, and I hope you enjoy it, guys. Please listen carefully. I know you've got your issues. Maybe you don't like him, maybe you don't like watching him, whatever, you don't like hearing him speak, whatever, but let's just listen. There is something that he says that I want us to actually talk about just a bit, and then let's go and let's hear.
We feel these elders are not doing what they're supposed to do. Is to say no, but our people are impatient on the ground. Our people are revolting every day. They are revolting against illegal foreigners. They are revolting against crime in this country. They are revolting against the lack of control of borders. They are revolting against corruption. Mainly, they are revolting against the that are not active in their own economic activities of their own country. Now, those are urgent matters that we must address. We're at 40% today because of that. That's a reality. Nothing else has put us at 40%. If we've addressed the issue of the economic structure in this country decisively, if we've addressed the issue of unemployment, if we've industrialized the economy a long time ago, utilizing our raw materials, because we've got critical minerals in this country that can resolve these issues of unemployment. China economy is dependent on our own raw materials here. Every economy, we've got mineral resources that are critical, that many economies of the world depend on them. Why they are benefiting from our own mineral resources, addressing their own economic challenges at the expense of our people of South Africa. Now, we've said as the Youth League, let's put export quotas. Let's say not more than 70% of raw materials must leave this country. They must be here and be processed here so they create necessary economic activities. And the president has announced on it. Now we're pushing for implementation. And we're saying that society, through this dialogue, must assist us to put pressure that everyone, and it's something that must unite us, whether you are EFF, you are DA, issues of the economy must unite us because it affects all our members and all our constituencies. It's not something that we must be politicized on. Even NGOs, civil organizations must unite us because they exist for the purpose of addressing the problems of our people.
Well, certainly young people will hold you accountable and hope for that pressure to be put, especially on that mother body.
Now, he talks about the coming together or working together of black people to actually make sure that we take control of the economy, okay? Because economy is the most important thing that you need to grab and that you need to actually control for you to actually change the lives of the people or change whatever you want to change, okay? Now, obviously, when he mentions the fact that, black people coming together and everything, I have always maintained my position when it comes to that one. And the reason is, okay, for black people to actually come together in agreeing with one mind, with one goal, with one idea, with one whatever, to actually get to a point where they make something happen for them, just like taking control of the economy. Okay? Now, when you look at the political parties in South Africa, one political party that has in its name economy, I think it's only the EFF. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm right or wrong, but I mean like the name of the party, Economic Freedom Fighters. That means they were meant, or they wanted, or their aim, or what needed to push them, it was to make sure that they get to a point where the economy of South Africa gets to benefit every person, right? Now, you all know, ladies and gentlemen, that every time when you listen to Mr. Malema do his speech, he usually speaks about we want to realize economic freedom in our lifetime. That is their, I can say, the words or sentences that he sometimes quote, because that is in the core of their party. Okay? Now, in the ANC though, we all know that the African National Congress is a non-racial party. They want to identify, or they want to express themselves in that way, or be viewed in that way, that we are non-racial. That means if they say we are non-racial, according to me, ladies and gentlemen, because I cannot like define it using their name, because it's just African national. You see, it's all about just Africa national. It's Africa now, it's National Congress. You know, you can see that it's actually a mixture of Africa and national. But the reason why I'm mentioning the fact that they sometimes say that we are a non-racial party, they usually say that because they will be asked, maybe by journalists, you know, that what if white don't you maybe come together with the black people? Why don't you do this with black people? And then they will respond and say, well, we are a non-racial party. In other words, we don't look at the color, we don't look whatever, right? Now, when it comes to the economy, according to what I am saying in the ANC, is the fact that when it comes to the economy, I don't see them dealing with the economy to only, I don't know whether to say only, to majority benefiting black people, because of the sentence that I've already mentioned. We are a non-racial party. If you are a non-racial party, in most cases, you will like to do things in a balanced way. Okay, but when you look at other parties, just like the economic freedom fighters, they will fight for black people wherever they go, wherever they speak, wherever they stand for black people. In other words, if you talk about the economy, you need to have the economy according, or as per maybe the EFF, to benefit the majority of our people instead of benefiting the minority. Now, people who know politics in South Africa, they know that the economy, it's only benefiting certain people who are getting richer every time. We all know that. It's a fact. It's out there. It has been spoken about a lot of time. It is out there, okay? That is why today you see that a lot of black people, just like what Mr. Ramaphosa said when he was opening the dialogue thing, he said we must find out on why our people are poor. But my guy, like, are you being serious right now? That is why, guys, when it comes to South Africa, we know the problems. You don't have to go down and research and check. The problems are there, are facing us every day. They are facing us every moment, every day of our lives. You don't need to go and check them out again. All you gotta do is to bring solutions. And I'm very sorry, guys, but if our country is not going to be solution-based mentally, or solution-oriented, or our attitude is solution-based, we will never have a progress in South Africa, especially amongst us as black people. Mr. Here, the president of the Youth League of the ANC, he speaks about a very important point. The point of coming together and making sure that we actually attack, and also not attack in a bad way, but attack in bringing the economy to the people, making the economy to work for our people, making the economy to actually favor our people. You see? Now, I want to speak about also the foreign nationals. Now, the reason why I'm speaking about that, because he also mentions the fact that, you know, the reason why you see people now fighting also against foreigners and everything, it is because of unemployment, and it is also because the reason why the employment is the way it is because of the economy. If the economy is not growing, there is no employment, and if the economy is going down, the employment rate it goes up. Okay, now a lot of people, when they talk about foreign foreign nationals and jobs and unemployment, and they say, yeah, but these people are not taking your jobs here. And then South Africans, they will say, yeah, they are taking our jobs. Do you remember where this thing started? Some of you guys, you forget about things. You remember? Now, I don't know if my thing is going to be correct or not, but let me just bring this picture to you. Bring it back to your face, right? You remember there was a time when the EFF, they were fighting for, I think they were fighting I think it was jobs, like, okay, the workers. That means they will go to a shop and check who is working there and everything like that. In particular, they will go there to check if the people that are there, that are working there, whether South Africans, whatever, are they actually getting the wages or the salaries that they should be getting. You remember there was a time where also the laws, they had to be changed, the minimum wage, it had to grow up and everything like that. Now, in South Africa, you would remember there was this fight about the minimum wage. That means people, they were not paid what was due to them. And then there was also a problem because people of South Africa, listen to me, South Africans, they started to stand up and toying and started to march in these companies and say, yeah, you are not paying us enough, you are not giving us what you are supposed to be giving us and everything, and you are making a lot of money there, but you are giving people peanuts. We want you to give people enough salary that they actually deserve, because they are the people that are making you these profits. Okay? And then that's where the problem started. And it started there. Why? Because a lot of people, right? A lot of employers, the people in companies and everything, they started to employ, this was actually bad. They started to employ people that are from outside. Why? Because the people from outside, they would take everything and anything that is given to them. They will not even look at whether the money is actually according to the laws of South Africa and everything. They will just take any salary. That is when South Africans started to have a problem with the guys who are from outside, because those guys who are employing, they actually ended up employing more people who are coming from outside, because they just take whatever amount they are given. That is when this narrative started to spread out. South Africans are lazy. They were calling South African lazy because South Africans, they were demanding that they get paid what is due to them. All right? And I remember there was a time, I think, the minimum wage that was paid to people, and the challenge actually, which I think the EFF, they were having when it comes to the minimum wage. Now, guys, it might be the EFF, it might be maybe it was one of the workers' unions or everything, I don't know, but I think the EFF also, they did this thing, okay? They were fighting that the companies are making more money, making more profits, but they are not giving people increase the salaries and everything, okay? I can guarantee you, right, that when you employ somebody that is from outside who lives in South Africa, whether documented or not documented, it doesn't even matter, okay? If when they employ them, right, and they tell them what they are going to give them, they are not going to question it. They will just take it. One, because they're desperate. They are in South Africa. They want a job. This is a job. Let me just take it, because at least I want to have something to eat, right? And then when a South African comes and says, I want a job, and then they employ him or her, and then he sees the salary, and then he's like, no, but you are not supposed to pay me this. You're supposed to pay me this according to the laws of South Africa. Okay? And then that employer then will fire, will do all these things and everything. That is where the problem started. That's why today you find that there are more people who are from outside who are employed in South Africa more than South Africans. It is because the employers, they were running or chasing these guys because they would receive or take any salary that they actually they will agree with any salary. Okay, that is why then other South Africans, they started to look at this thing to say, these guys who are from outside, they are undermining us because we are trying to fight for our rights, and then they are coming in here and then they get employed. In other words, they are doing the opposite of what we are trying to achieve here. You see? So the economy part of South Africa, it's very important. That is why even today, when it comes to Mr. Ramaphosa, they are judging him based on the economy. One, because Mr. Ramaphosa, when he came into power, we all thought because he's a businessman, he will run things well. He will be able maybe to stabilize the economy or maybe even grow the economy, not with a lot of percentage, but grow it, see that it's actually happening. Unfortunately, when he came in and then these things started to happen, and then it was just a mess and everything, and then people started to throw back again and be like, my guy, it seems like you don't know what you are doing. Okay, because when Mr. Ramaphosa came in, guys, all of us, okay, not all of us, okay, there were those, because there were already some issues with Mr. Ramaphosa. He's there for capital, monopoly capital, all these things, issues were there. Okay, but some of the people, they thought that maybe Mr. Ramaphosa, when he comes in, because he's a businessman, he knows about all these things, he will be able, just like Trump in America. A lot of people trust Mr. Trump because he's a businessman, he knows the economy, he knows how to run a business, he will be able to run a country. That's what happened also with Mr. Ramaphosa. But unfortunately, things just went south. Okay, that is why they are judging Mr. Ramaphosa based on the economy, because they were expecting that he will do well. It's not like Mr. Zuma. Mr. Zuma, we knew that Mr. Zuma is popular. People, they allowed him, okay, not they allowed him, but he came to power because he was popular. People loved him, it's for black people, it's for that and that and that and that and that. Okay? And Mr. Mbeki, we all know that Mr. Mbeki, he was, what? They call him what? I forgot the term. He's intellectual, right? He's a person who thinks. He's a person who asks questions. He's a person who wants to know if you are doing something, why are you doing it? What is the purpose of it? In other words, how is it going to be? You have to be able to answer questions to him. He was an intellectual. He was sort of like, I don't know whether to use the word diplomatic, whatever. I don't know, okay? And then you had Mandela. Mandela, I think, is what the same as Mr. Zuma. Is popular, loved, fighting for freedom, blah, blah, blah. And when he came in, we all loved him and blah, 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 okay? So, but when it comes to Mr. Ramaphosa, it was all about the economy. You are coming in, we expect him to make things change in terms or based on the economy. Changing the economy, making it look better, and making it to bring jobs, but it's not happening. Okay, so the president, I think he has a point here where he says, if we can come together and make the economy work, and take over the economy and actually make sure that the economy is working. You can go anywhere in the world. If the economy is not working, there's nothing that you can do. You will never build anything. You will never grow the unemployment. You will never make the businesses in South Africa work well. If the economy is bad, there's nothing that is going to happen. As long as the economy struggling, growing just 0.1%, goes down again, it's not gonna work. The employment rate will always go up, just like it grew up right now. It grew up to 33.2%. which is actually shows or a sign that the economy is not doing well. I believe that in South Africa, if we can get hold of the economy, we are good. Take control of it and be able to run it the way it should be. And when I say take control of it, because we can't go to the streets and say, we want to take control of the economy. Who is going to be there and take control of the economy? Because you have to be in government and everything. There's gotta be ways, guys, to deal with this thing so that we get to where we want to get to. Anyway, I don't know what do you think about this topic, guys. You can tell me in the comments, and you can just tell me what do you think about what he said and what also I just said, especially when it comes to the employment and the minimum wage, whatever. Guys, you must never forget where things started. I remember vividly that this thing of people coming here to work here and people thinking they are taking our jobs, it was because of the minimum wage. When South Africans, they were fighting for it. Other people, they saw other ways. They employed people from outside. I can tell you guys, people from outside, they can take anything. Anything, I can tell you. Anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. You can do what you want to do. I just watched the video. It was almost done there. You can go and watch the whole interview on Newsroom, as you can see on the screen over there. They've got their logo these days. They don't want, anyway, you can go and watch the whole thing. But I just wanted to take this part because it's very important. Okay, guys, whether you like it or not, you can hate, you can love politicians sometimes, just like I don't trust them. For me personally, I don't trust them, but when I listen to them, if they make sense, they make sense. I'm not going to ignore that because I don't like them, because I don't like politicians. If they make sense in some of the points, they do make sense. So I think that he made sense when he spoke about the economy here. Thank you guys for watching. You have a good day. Shap shap.